Yo, 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 what's up? It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned, and we got a good one. Kenny Pickett, Pitt quarterback, more importantly, from Jersey.
That's right.
Jersey. All right, so that's awesome, man. Congrats on your year. You played great.
Thank you.
You really should be proud of everything you did. That was awesome to watch. All right, here we are. Last year there was a talk that you might come out last year. In fact, like the draft process last year, I watched a little film on you because I thought you might come out. So first, take us into what brought you back for the 5th year and going back to Pitt.
Yeah, just to simplify it, really just didn't like the grades I was hearing from teams and all the info that I was getting.
Sure.
Did my due diligence of getting that research and make sure it was accurate. And, having that extra COVID year, really wanted to come back and improve as a player, obviously, to get in this position that I am in today.
What was the, things you heard, right, that you didn't like? Because I was there, too. I almost came out as a junior.
Yep.
And then I threw 3 interceptions in the Big 12 championship game, and that was down the drain right there. But, what was it that you heard that you went, okay, I'm going to go back to the drawing board a little bit?
Yeah, round 6, 7, the possibility of falling that late, didn't want to leave the chance.
Right.
I'd rather bet on myself, go back and have one more year at it and put myself in the position I am in now.
Was there specifically things they said to you about your game then that you were like, what? Of course, they're not always right. I know that. But what were they saying to you that way?
I was never in contact, really. It was just the people that I was asking.
Sure,
and they wouldn't get the details of, I would just get
just where you're rated.
Yeah,
I
had to make that fast decision.
Right.
I didn't have much time to really get into it. But once I decided to come back, then it's okay. I want to improve the deep ball, being accurate downfield, going through my progressions in the pocket, maintaining a good base, more efficient in the red zone, all those things that I really improved on to allow me to have this season.
What'd you do? Who'd you work with? How do you go back to the drawing board and fix the deep ball and those type of things?
Yeah, well, I work with Tony Ratsiopi in New Jersey. I'm sure you're familiar with it.
I know him.
I've been working with Tony for 6 years now, so putting a lot of work with him, and then obviously being with Coach Whipple for my 3rd year.
Yeah.
I think that was really the difference maker of owning the system and mastering it and using everything at my disposal that he has in the offense. So I think both areas of just technique and then offense really helps.
Yeah, mentally you were comfortable, so now you can just let it fly with your physical ability, right? Yeah, that's the thing. All right, so now here you are. We're going there. You made those adjustments. Now you probably have another list of adjustments you're trying to make here now for this year, as far as your adjustment to the NFL. What has that been? So just working ever since your evaluations, what you hear from people. What is the thing you're trying to improve now? Go to the NFL.
Yeah, that whole pocket footwork,
I
made those improvements, but that's another area that I really want to improve on. Maintaining my base, not coming undone in the pocket before I need to. There's times you turn on the tape, I do that. So that's going to go hand in hand with really mastering the offense that I eventually go to. And knowing, how the progression works, how it ties up with timing in my feet. So all those things are going to go into it.
Yeah, I got you. All right, so now we got to get to the $1 million questions because everybody talks about your hands, right? Hands don't really mean crap anymore. They don't. The size of the hands don't. Hey, Mahomes, there's so many quarterbacks that don't have big hands. They grip the ball in a way to where they get the smaller part of the ball. It looks like you do that, right? You know how you grip the football? You're 1 and 3, I believe. That's what I looked at, right on the first base, and then you got the second one on the third one. You wear the glove, right?
I do.
So I don't love the glove. I'm going to evaluate you for what you are, all right? So don't worry, but I don't love the glove. I'm going to be honest with you, okay?
No worries.
I hope you can, Jersey guys, keep it real.
Yeah.
All right? It doesn't mean it's going to affect your evaluation. But how did that come about? Talk about that, just where it was like, okay, let me try a glove, put it on, and now throw the ball.
Yeah, well, growing up in New Jersey, it gets cold in playoff weather. So, I have in Pop Warner in high school, I ended up doing it.
You messed with it that
early?
early?
I messed with it that early. So that's where I was comfortable doing it on a Thursday night against UNC in 2019, I believe. So that was one of the first times I did it in college. Threw it really well. Threw it well all week in the indoor at practice and stuff, and I was preparing for that game, the weather, and what to expect. And Coach Whip just said it doesn't have to be cold to wear the gloves. Like, you could wear them and just see how it goes. And continue to do it. Felt more comfortable with it, and just stuck with it.
It's the grip, right?
Yeah.
Tell us what it is that you love about it, because I know. I've done it. There's a lot to love about it.
Yeah. It's just I don't know how to explain. Just comfortable, more comfortable with it. It just felt more natural for me to have the glove on. It's just kind of a feel thing.
Do you ever feel? Is there ever I've talked to quarterbacks like even Kurt Warner before who wore the glove towards the end of his career, right? And he would talk about there were certain throws where I felt like the glove affected him. Like he actually had to think for a little bit of wait, to throw it short, I got to drop my arm down a little bit because the ball can stick to the glove to a degree.
Okay.
Are there things that you think about at certain throws as far as I got to change it
Just don't. If you don't over grip, I never had the problem of that.
So
right. So as long I'm not squeezing the ball, I feel like I spin it better because I have a looser grip and I can just spin it. So I wouldn't say there's a throw that I'm like kind of conscious of that. I just always just conscious of not over gripping it and holding on too tight.
Right. Anything like, nerd quarterback wise, like I know we talked about the mechanics or whatever to a degree, but like as far as, that you're working on certain throws more specifically. Like Desmond Ridder came here a minute ago and he's like, man, throws to my left, to my open side. All I do is step in the bucket, right? He wants to throw it here, but he steps way over here to do it. So that's been a thing he's got to work on. Like anything that jumps out to your mind that you've had to work on here?
Yeah, I mean, the timing throws, and you're working with guys that you haven't worked with. So really, no one had to judge their breaks, I think, coming out tomorrow and how each guy's going to be different.
Right.
You'll probably see guys being that half second a little bit late just to make sure they catch the angle of where those guys are going.
Right.
So having the training process with guys I haven't thrown to, doing the timing routes and matching that up with my footwork and my feet, I think, is the number one thing.
Gotcha. Let it rip out there.
Yeah.
All right. Don't worry. Nobody's going to go, oh, my gosh, he's 1 for 2 to a guy he never threw to in his life. Just let it go. That's the one thing. You want to see talent. You want to see the guys do it that way. All right, growing up, Jersey guy, Jets or Giants fan?
Eagles.
What the? What the? I know you're kind of in middle Jersey, so that's kind of like the line of demarcation. South Jersey, for all those out there, is Philadelphia fans. North Jersey is New Yorkers. So you went with the Eagles. What a stupid decision that was.
My dad grew up in Philly. He passed it down. Yeah.
All right. Damn. So your dad probably doesn't like my dad a whole lot. That's for sure.
Right.
All right. How old's dad?
Early 50s, 52.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't like my dad. That's for sure. All right. Now, NFL-wise, quarterbacks. Like just growing up. Like who was your guy growing up?
I was always a smaller guy. I hit a growth spurt late. So Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, I kind of gravitated more to the smaller, mobile guys, which I think the NFL is kind of turning more to guys that are more mobile than the old school mold. So, having to watch those guys and really throughout my career watching a lot of the more mobile quarterbacks.
All right. Any difference now, or now that you're bigger and you grew? Or
you watch Josh Allen now. You watch, I watched Burrow at LSU.
Right.
And obviously keeping in up to date with him in the NFL. And obviously Rodgers and Mahomes, those guys are elite categories. So really just like watching the position.
All right, don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm saying this for a real thing. You pulled off the okey doke of the okey doke this year. the fake slide, keep running for a touchdown. Like, what a bunch of bullcrap that was. I would have done it too, right? And I look at it and go, damn, they got to change that rule. There's something there.
Right.
But like, tell me, that's something you've been thinking about for a while, or it just happened organically right there?
Yeah, no, I don't think in a championship game I was thinking of doing something that's never been done in the game before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm ready to pull up for a slide.
You were ready to legitimately
I was legitimately pulling up for a slide.
Yeah.
Their body language, just plain experience. When you slide, usually guys are on top of you. They still come finish the play. And those guys were pulling up so far away.
I recognized
the body language. Their shoulders were pulled back. So I was like, why am I stopped? I should just keep going.
Wow.
Ended up the foot just dragging, and that's how it happened.
Okay,
so.
I like that. That's a good answer. I like that. It makes me think better about the situation,
Yeah,
too.
definitely not in a championship game. I'm like, I'm going to get him with a fake slide.
Yeah.
That's not. I'm worried about winning the game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so far here, like tomorrow, you're doing it all?
Doing it all, yeah. Running, jump, throw.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right. What's that been like? I mean, I remember going through that, getting down there, like, what the hell? I'm in a 3-point stance and I run a 40?
Right. I wasn't a track guy in high school, so I had no background really. But the camp circuit, I had a little bit of recall doing all that stuff, the Nike and the Rivals. So I think that really helped me now being in this position. But it's like you said, it's unique because you're doing stuff that's not in your position. You're never going to have to do it again.
Right.
But as a professional, you just want to be the best at it. So you're focused on every single day going to work. And, okay, it's you're doing your quarterback stuff, but on top of it, instead of conditioning and weightlifting, which you're doing, but not as much because you got to do some things that you're not used to doing. So and get the fundamentals and basics of the drill down.
Gotcha. Yeah. Like what? I mean, you can run. Like, what do you? Again, I don't want you to have to put yourself out there to your ultimate best. But what are you expecting? Like,
I think it'll be 4.7s.
4.7?
40. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah. All right. You gonna do vert?
I'll vert. Yeah, I think I hope 32 plus around there.
Okay. What about the bench press? You doing that?
Will not be touching the bench.
Okay, then you're not doing all of that.
Will not be touching the bench.
He's
no.
You're from Jersey. You're supposed to dominate the bench press.
No, we left that one out this year.
Okay. All right, that's cool. All right, I had something else I was going to ask you, and I can't remember what the hell it was. Damn, I had something off of that I wanted to ask you. Here what it was. I mean, mainly in the shotgun. Right? For the most part. I mean, were you guys ever really – I haven't deep dived into you guys on film yet. I just know base level stuff.
Yeah, we were. We went
underneath a little.
Majority gun comfortable. My first 2 years with Coach Watson, I'd say we were 70% under. So I have some – I mean, coming from 2 West Coast systems, I've felt the difference of both.
Okay, and you're good with huddle and calling the plays there and all that.
Yeah.
You guys were traditional that way.
Right. I mean – Coach Whipple, I mean, for Pitt fans, no, I don't know if anyone else knows, but I would run to the sideline to get the huddle calls. So he would yell the play to me, and I had to obviously hear
real
it.
Old school.
Real old school. Hear it, remember it, go to the huddle.
Right.
So I think that really helped me with the Senior Bowl and kind of how it's done. They have the microphone in the helmets, and doing that for the first time. But being able to go out there, operate the huddle, get guys lined up, I felt like I had a good control of that, which I was, happy with.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for spending some time, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks
Good
for having
luck.
me on.
Kick some ass.
Thank
do
you.
it for Jersey.
Absolutely,
all right?
we'll do.
Not the Eagles part of Jersey, the other side.
Gotcha. Thanks, man.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.